What is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new episode of the podcast. And I know I'm playing the little intro song over, but it's kind of to set the mood. I like the intro song I was able to find. It's a non-copyright song, so hopefully I don't get copyright. But anyways, today I have another podcast episode, and the last one did pretty well. A lot of people do like the last 3 episodes that I've had. The last one was talking about Spider-Man, and I think I already said what I was going to talk about in this one, but basically I'm going to be talking about what Warner Bros.' new announcement, and that is that they're going to release all their 2021 movies in theaters and on HBO Max. So I'm going to list off all the movies that will be coming out in 2021 for sure on 2021 in theaters and HBO Max, both. So if you have HBO Max, you can watch it at home. If you don't want to watch it at home, you can go to your theaters. If where you live at, it's open. So here are the movies. And this isn't all of them. These are just most of them. We have The Suicide Squad. We have The Matrix. We have Godzilla vs. Kong. We have Dune. We have The Conjuring. We have Space Jam: A New Legacy, and Tom and Jerry. And let's not forget that this year on Christmas we're gonna be getting Wonder Woman 84. By the way, I already bought my tickets to go watch Wonder Woman 84 on opening day at 1 p.m. on Christmas. I don't care. I don't really celebrate Christmas on the 25th. I celebrate it mostly on the 24th at night. That's how us Hispanics do it. But yeah, this came as a surprise. I remember I was at work, and then I get a notification from my boy Alex. He sends me a text saying that HBO Max uploaded. They posted like this new trailer, or no, this new teaser, and it was saying how all the movies are coming out 2021 in theaters and HBO Max. And my first question was, why didn't they wait for Wonder Woman 84 to test out the waters? And I guess I figured out the answer, and the answer I was able to come up with was the fact that HBO Max right now wants to focus on getting HBO Max off the ground, because it's been struggling. It's struggled to get off the ground. Sure, I'm going to say this right now. HBO Max has the best content out of all the streaming services. They have a lot of DC content. They have my favorite sitcom Friends. They have lots of stuff. I got into Euphoria. I tried watching Raised by Wolves. Not very good, but not bad either. But yeah, they have a lot of content that I really like, and I think they have more content that I enjoy than something like Disney Plus, Hulu, and Netflix. But yeah, they've been struggling. They're not at Disney Plus's level. Disney Plus got a ton of subscribers this in their first year was just The Mandalorian, so I gotta give them the credit. Netflix, of course, they're still the number one top dog to be. I do think that in 3 years that will be debatable. I think HBO Max and Disney Plus will compete, and the only reason why I say HBO Max will eventually get there is now because of all of these movies. Because Godzilla vs. Kong, big movie right there. Dune, big movie right there. The Conjuring, big movie right there. Space Jam: A New Legacy, Tom and Jerry, Wonder Woman 84, The Suicide Squad. They're all big movies. And look, I'm already subscribed to HBO Max, so regardless, I can find this on HBO Max, and I will be watching all of these movies. There are a few other movies I didn't list out, but you can go ahead and find that online. These are the main movies I'm going to talk about. And I already bought my tickets for Wonder Woman 84. Regardless, I think for the most part I'm gonna go to the movies, go to the theaters, help support the theater chains, and watch all of these, or not all of them. I think I'm only gonna watch in theaters The Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman 84, and Godzilla vs. Kong. The other ones I'm gonna watch at home, like Space Jam: A New Legacy. As much as I grew up with Space Jam, and the older I get, the more I don't really like Space Jam. It's just kind of like, I just think to myself, I could just watch it for free at home. I mean, I'm already paying $14 or $15 a month for the streaming services, so why go to the theater when I can watch it for free? The Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman 84, and Godzilla vs. Kong are kind of rare exceptions, because those are actual movies I want to experience in the theaters. If Dune gets a lot of good reviews, I will watch it in theaters, but for the most part right now, I'm just going to watch it at home. But yeah. But here are some things I really want to talk about, what's going to go on with the situation. I think we have to accept the fact that we're kind of going through a theater apocalypse. This move that this stunt that Warner Bros. Just pulled could potentially end movie theaters. This could cause the downfall of all theaters. And I know some of y'all are like, oh, but these movies are still going to come out in theaters. Well, here's the thing. A lot of people are going to look at HBO Max. People who were hyped up for any of these movies, they're going to be like, wait, you're going to charge me $15 a month not only to watch this brand new movie that just got put out on theaters, but all this other content like Euphoria, DC films, Friends, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, so much, a lot. And not only that, but let's remember the pandemic is still out there. There's a lot of people who are worried, they don't want to get out of their house, and they're thinking to themselves, oh, I can watch this brand new movie and also include all these other shows and movies that are on HBO Max. Or number 3, people who are fans of like any of these movies and were planning on watching it that live in a place where theaters aren't open, like let's say LA County or New York, around that area, they more than likely will get HBO Max to find that and then look at the other content and stay unsubscribed. I think that's how it's going to work. I do think that's how it's going to happen. The theatrical chain is going to be less and less important. I feel like I remember when I went to go buy my tickets. Normally when I buy my tickets, I buy them the first day. This is with Endgame, Shazam, etc., etc. And most of the time there's multiple seats that are bought out already in my theater. But when I went on and tried to find, seats for me, it was all empty. Then I went to other screenings, seeing if there was any people. I think in total I could only find 2 people who had already booked their tickets. But then again, I don't really live in a place with a giant population. Like, I don't live in a big city. So I guess in a way that's not really a good comparison. But, this really is hinting at the fact that we could soon be ending theaters. That theatrical experience will no longer be available. Or if it is going to be available, it's going to be like the vinyl record, where it's something that you can still find. Like, you can go find vinyls, like they're at some stores. You can go find them, you can still use them like you did back in whatever era it was in. And I think that's how it's going to work with theaters. Theaters are going to be something where us youngsters right now, when we get old, we're going to be like, oh, I missed the good old days when all the new movies would come out. And I'm not saying they're going to go completely extinct. I do think some will stay open, so that if you ever want to go watch an old movie like Men in Black, Forrest Gump, etc., etc., you can just go to a theater and watch it. But it's going to be like an old, almost extinct thing. You're not going to see massive AMCs. You're not going to be seeing these massive box office openings. You're not going to be able to go on an opening night for a brand new movie and with all tons of fans all around you to enjoy one great cinematic performance. And yeah, it's just bad. There's going to be less people in theaters. There's going to be less money for theaters. So, and this is sad because we just came off 2019, which is one of the greatest years in movie theatrical history, with historical movies such as Endgame. And then you have like other big blockbusters like Far From Home, Detective Pikachu, etc., etc. There's so many movies that really helped the theatrical chain this past 2019. And it's disappointing how completely different that came on in 2020. Like, when I first heard that Sonic made a ton of money, I was like, yo, the theatrical chains, they're going to have another great year. Didn't think it was going to live up to 2019 because no Endgame. So, and, but they had so much looking forward to for them, because Black Widow, Wonder Woman 84, 2 movies expected to make $1 billion in the box office. Let's not forget, we're going to get a new Fast and Furious movie. We're going to get Dune. We were going to get so much content this year. And, even The Eternals was going to come out this year. And it's really disappointing because, and I don't even know if they're going to be able to live. Like, Wonder Woman 84 will be a real test. My prediction for this test is that theatrically it's going to do bad. I do think it's going to flop really, really badly. Like New Mutants level flop. Somewhere around there. But I do think on HBO Max it's going to be done really well. There's going to be a ton of new subscribers on HBO Max. I do think it's going to do really, really, really good on HBO Max. I have no doubts about that. And, I guess that's tough. I really hope, like, I'm not saying it's impossible that lots of people show up at theaters, but it seems very unlikely because there's still a lot of theaters closed. There's a lot of theaters in China specifically that are closed. China is the second biggest market when it comes to these movies. Like, that's something we all have to accept. And without China, for the most part, these movies aren't going to do very well. And this could be the end of blockbuster films for all we know. And specifically the theatrical experience, which I'm going to say this right now. For me, the theatrical experience is the greatest experience out there. For me, any day I know that I'm going to the movie, like I wake up in the morning and knowing I'm going to go to the movies that day, it's like the happiest day of my life. I'm always happy knowing, and in the whole day I just can't stop talking about the movie I'm going to go watch. So for me, this is really disappointing. But, Warner Bros. Now is focusing on HBO Max because, Disney Plus, Netflix, all these other streaming services, they got off the ground really good. Netflix right now, of course, is the top to beat. I don't think HBO Max right now is worried about Netflix because really there's really nothing HBO Max can do to actually compete with Netflix, but they are gonna go head to head with Disney Plus. Do I think these movies could possibly be the reason why HBO Max gets a lot more subscribers? Yeah, I think that there's a good chance. I think there's a good chance that people watch these movies and they're like, oh, HBO Max has a lot more content to provide for me. I do think HBO Max needs to get themselves this Mandalorian kind of series where they have multiple episodes, multiple seasons, where like each weekend there's a new thing. I know some of you are going to use the excuse, oh, what about the Snyder Cut? Well, to be honest, the Snyder Cut is only going to be like 4 episodes. And sure, for 4 weeks it's going to be great, and I do think that's going to get them. I do think the Snyder Cut is what's going to get them a ton of subscribers. That I think for sure. Because I remember I told myself not to get HBO Max until the Snyder Cut comes out, so that way I could only have it for a month. But then I started hearing about all the content that HBO Max had, so I had to go get it early, and I'm glad I did. There's a lot of things I got into because of HBO Max. Like beforehand, I had never seen Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Now I'm binging it because I love it. But anyways, wait. And a real big question that I've already asked, but I think I should ask again, is why do this when they haven't even tested Wonder Woman 84? I genuinely feel like they should at least see how Wonder Woman 84 does before. And I'm going to the theaters to watch this. I really don't care, especially on Christmas. I don't know why they decided for a Christmas release date. It's like, for the most part, people don't go outside of their houses when it's Christmas, especially during a pandemic. But anyways, not only that, but they have to compete with Pixar's Soul, which I also want to watch. So I guess that day I'm going to be watching 2 movies, not in theaters, but Wonder Woman 84, yeah, but not Soul. And it's a bit complicated, and it's a bit confusing to me why they decided to announce this before Wonder Woman 84. Like, if they had done it after, even if Wonder Woman 84 had failed, I would have seen, oh, okay, it makes sense why they would release all the others. But, I honestly, I know this is like, I give it a 2% chance, but I think there's a 2% chance that maybe the movie does really well in its theatrical run. Maybe it does really well on HBO Max, and maybe if it does really well in the theaters, then I guess, that's going to be the best thing possible, because then other companies are going to be like, hey, look, the theatrical chain is still working. Because let's not forget, Tenet, it didn't bomb, but to the standards that we expected it to, especially with the Christopher Nolan film, it did not do very well. Like, if pretend we didn't live in a pandemic world, if a Christopher Nolan movie like that made that low amount of money, everyone would be asking, what happened to Christopher Nolan? Is Christopher Nolan not a great director anymore or anything like that? That's what would have happened. And, I honestly was disappointed when I heard the Tenet numbers. I genuinely remember. I remember walking into that theater and thinking to myself, I'm back and I can't wait to go watch all these big movies. But then the Tenet numbers came in and, they weren't very good. I remember the opening weekend, a lot of people were saying how it was doing actually pretty decently well. I remember New Mutants bombed so hard. I remember New Mutants was so average and boring, and I didn't care about it to the point where I didn't even think about making a review about it. Because honestly, I didn't really care about New Mutants. Although I think that was irresponsible of me to not make a review, because I mean that's my whole channel, what it's about. You guys subscribe for movie reviews specifically. But yeah, I I it did shock me when Warner Bros. Announced this. I really, really hope I'm wrong when I say this, but this is the end for movie theaters. This is the beginning of the end. I don't see this. I feel like by the beginning of 2022, movie theaters will be bankrupt. Most of them will have to sell off their buildings. It's going to be over. It's going to just be the end. And honestly, a lot of people have been saying how they would rather watch a movie at home because it's more comfortable. They don't have to go drive. But here's the thing: when you watch a movie and in the theaters, there's just not a better experience. You have that full surround sound system. You have the big screen. You have, all your fellow film fans all around you. You're just enjoying popcorn and you're just in the moment. When I watch a movie at home, right here I'm close by my TV. I know you guys can't see it, but my TV isn't that big. I'm used to watching movies and shows on my TV, but I'm just laying in my bed. My windows are out there. I can hear car sounds around because I live in a neighborhood, so it's like there's houses real close to me. So of course, I don't have the pitch black darkness, and it just doesn't feel the same. I have this small TV where I'm kind of forced to watch movies when I have to, and I don't really have. I mean, I can't make popcorn as good as what the theaters can make it or provide for me. Uh, and, I also have my family around that's doing their own things, like they're watching TV. So I don't have that full, complete. Like when I'm watching a movie, 10% of the time I'm not able to pay attention because of the things going on around me. And in the theaters, that's actually completely the opposite. It's like 99% of the time I'm just focused on the movie. That 1% is the occasional me just looking around. I don't know. But I just love that theatrical experience. And like I said before, any day that I wake up in the morning knowing I'm going to go to the movies, it's the happiest I am because I just love going to the movies. But, I guess that's going to be taken away from me sooner rather than later. But I hopefully am wrong about what I'm saying because, the theatrical change is just so great. But I'm still going to be able to go watch Wonder Woman 84, Suicide Squad, Godzilla vs. Kong, and, maybe Dune. Like I said, if it gets really good reviews, I will invest on going into the theaters. But yeah, it's just such a shame, and this is just the beginning of the end. But hold up, let me drink some water. All right, I'm back. So I'm about to close off the show, but one last thing I have to say is, I feel like after this move, Disney is gonna look at this and be like, well, I guess this is our time, because as of now, Soul hasn't been confirmed if it's gonna be something that they charge us for, or is it gonna be something that they just give us, or something like that. I feel like they will charge, but because of what Warner Bros. Is doing, I feel like there's a good chance that that's not gonna happen. I feel like possibly, Disney is not going to charge specifically because of what Warner Bros. Is doing on HBO Max. And hopefully, I just want to watch these movies in theaters. I'm annoyed at the fact, knowing that HBO Max, like, as much as I love HBO Max, I just don't like knowing that these movies will end up on HBO Max destroying the theatrical run, because like I said, I think there's only a 2% chance that this movie does really good on in theaters. I do think it will do really well on HBO Max, but in its theatrical run, I don't think it. Like, man, like AMC, Regal, Cinemark, all those other theater chains, like, I don't know what's going on over there. Hopefully they have some kind of surprising backup plan that I don't know about, and they're able to fix this whole situation, fix the theatrical run, fix, all of this. I know this is easier said than done, but hopefully they're able to they're able to manage this. And I I do give Warner Bros. Some credit for being able to put it in theaters, but I feel like the main reason why they're doing it theater and HBO Max is so that they put their movies on HBO Max and then be like, all right, people come to our HBO Max because they need as many subscribers as they can. But at the same time, I also do sense that they're putting it out on theaters so they can tell like, for example, let's pretend the pandemic is done by January. Let's just say the pandemic's done by then. It can be seen like this. Warner Bros. Can tell them, hey, look, we released these movies in theaters when it was when the theatrical cut was struggling, so let's still be friends and I'll release. Because remember, these movie studios survive off of the theatrical run, and they don't want to ruin that business. Remember, Trolls World Tour, when Paramount decided to just put it out on, charging people $30 to watch it, and the AMC, I think, I forgot what CEO, they came out saying, you really messed up, because now Paramount is like in a bit of a pickle because of what they did. And that's on Paramount's fault. They should have at least notified. And I guess Warner Bros. Doesn't want to ruin their partnership with the theaters, with all those theater chains. And, I think that's great. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this podcast. It was a nice little episode that I made, and I know it's a bit late because I'm uploading this on Saturday, but it's like, why does it matter? It's like, I know it came out yesterday and I should be posting this on Friday, but I guess put it on Saturday. But let me know down in the comments below what y'all think about this move. Do you think this will ruin the theaters, or do you think this will improve HBO Max, or whatever? Just give me your thoughts on this. Anyways, follow me on Instagram, Isaac the Film Geek, and thank you guys for watching. Peace.